Shalom, friends. Today's the fifth day of the month of Elul. I want to share with you a story and a lesson that has the power to reshape how we view the world around us. When Rebbe Yosef Yitzhak was a child, he once tore a leaf from a tree while walking through a garden. He rubbed it between his fingers, something innocent enough, but his father rebuked him. He said, "What right do you have to rip a leaf from a tree and mistreat it for no purpose?" That small moment shaped him for life. He later said that it taught him to be sensitive to everything. If we learn to respect a leaf, how much more will we respect people? This is the essence of tzedakah. Many think of tzedakah as charity, but in Hebrew it means righteousness and justice. It's not optional generosity. It's a part of how God designed the world to function. The Torah teaches us to slow down and notice holiness even in the most minor details. For example, before we eat, we bless. On the surface, it's gratitude, thanking God as you would thank someone who serves you food, but deeper than that, it's a call to sensitivity. You're hungry, you want to eat, but the Torah says wait. Recognize that every fiber of grass, every grain of wheat, every breath of life belongs to Hashem and was created to serve you. To consume without blessing is to miss the sanctity of creation. The Talmud teaches in Derech 35a, whoever benefits from this world without a blessing is like one who steals from the Holy One, blessed is he. That's not mechanical Judaism. That's developing sensitivity. Remember that one who eats the food from creation, it contains sparks that are being elevated by your very consumption. This is no small matter. The Rambam, Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, explained that giving tzedakah is not merely benevolence. It is justice. Because more than the giver does for the poor does for the giver. And Yeshua echoed this when he said, "It is more blessed to give than to receive." Why? Because when we give, we reflect the very nature of God, the ultimate giver. Sensitivity is cultivated in the small things. Rav Avraham Kook taught that holiness is not only found in great sacrifices, but also in refining the everyday moments. Yeshua put it this way, whoever is faithful in a little will also be faithful in much. Every blessing, every act of restraint, every moment we choose to honor life is training. Training our hearts to be more righteous, more sensitive, more like Hashem himself. When Yeshua said, "One who is faithful in very little is also faithful in much," he was emphasizing the importance of paying attention to minute details. He taught the significance of being mindful at every step of the journey. Being sensitive to the environment allows us to hear that still small voice that calls out to our soul. Being faithful in very little trains our eyes to see beyond that which tends to distract us. It's about zooming in. It's about focusing in into the microscopic world. Paul says in Philippians 2:4, "Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others." Paul emphasizes another aspect of sensitivity. What are others going through? To develop sensitivity is to realize that our mission from heaven is our connection to the situations and interests of others. Whether we like it or not, we are all connected. I watched a video the other day about a pencil, a simple object, but the man said that one person could not create a pencil alone. All of the elements of the pencil come from different parts of the world, mined by various people. Many elements were brought together in order to meet a common goal, and that is the creation of a pencil. So let me ask you, where do you need more sensitivity? Is it in your words? Proverbs 18:21 says that life and death are in the power of the tongue. Is it in your actions, slowing down before consuming or before discarding? Or is it in your relationships, remembering that each person is created in the image of God? This is what Elul is about, preparing our hearts before the days of awe by cultivating sensitivity. Friends, it begins with a leaf, but it doesn't stop there. Each blessing, each act of tzedakah, each pause before speaking or acting transforms us into givers, and that is what makes us godlike. As the prophet Micah said, "What does the Lord require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." Friends, it's time. Let us hear the sound of the shofar to awaken our hearts that we might serve him in the month of Elul. May we enter these days ahead with a heart of sensitivity to creation, to one another, and above all, to Hashem. Philippians 1 verses 9 through 11 says, "And this I pray, that your love may abound still more and more in knowledge and all discernment, that you may approve the things that are excellent, that you may be sincere and without offense till the day of Messiah, being filled with the fruits of righteousness, which are by Yeshua the Messiah, to the glory and praise of God." Friends, may you have a blessed day, and Lord willing, we will see you here again tomorrow. Shalom and Litrot. Great masters don't implant new truths, they awaken old ones. They can only open the pathway to the truth within. The sages of old teach that Moses yearned to see the later wisdom taught by Rabbi Akiva, who extracted mountains of law from crowns of letters in Tractate Menachot 29b. The lesson is this: the teachers draw living water from ancient wells. The Master himself, Yeshua, made it abundantly clear that through his words one can attain freedom from old habits and patterns when he said, "If you abide in my word, you are truly my disciples. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Elul summons us to Shuvah. The king is in the field. The sovereign makes himself accessible to everyone. In Shir Hashirim, in the Song of Songs 5:2, it says that I sleep, but my heart is awake. It is the voice of my beloved. He knocks, saying, "Open for me, my sister, my love, my dove, my perfect one, for my head is covered with dew, my locks with the drops of the night." The lover of our soul is knocking on the door of our heart, seeking entrance. The Midrash Rabbah and Shir Hashirim states that Hashem said this, "Open for me an opening like the eye of a needle, and I will open for you an opening wide enough for wagons to enter." You see, the knocking equals Hashem drawing close, making himself available. The opening equals our small act of teshuvah, to which Hashem responds with overwhelming divine closeness. It requires a step on our behalf to open the door, but we have to listen for the knock. Teshuvah is a homecoming to our prenatal Torah. As I said earlier, we receive Torah as a preborn child, but then an angel comes, taps us. The sages say that we have this little indentation right here because an angel takes us, pushes us out of our mother's womb. We forget Torah, and then our entire goal in our life is to come back to that Torah that we learned. So what are we to do during Elul? Well, let's practice Bible immersion daily. You see, freedom requires formation. We have to form good habits. And a good habit to form is daily Bible immersion. Be immersed in the Torah, the Nevi'im, the prophets, and the Ketuvim, the writings, as well as the Brit Chadashah. Let's use prayer as an alignment. At least say the Shema morning and evening, or the disciples' prayer as a messianic focus and intention. Let us cultivate kavanah rather than speed. Let's take our time as we're working our way through the prayers, really digging deep into our heart. Pray now like we've never prayed before. Let us practice chesed, gemilut chasadim, acts of loving kindness. A weekly act of mercy, to do tzedakah, to liberate us from this nasty habit that we might have of greed. Let us do confession and tikkun. Let us reconcile quickly, because freedom refuses to harbor debts against others if we really want to be free. Let's have fixed times with our community, to study together as a community, to stir one another to love and to good works, and to encourage one another to pray together. Friends, don't forsake the assembling together. That is an important aspect of our walk. As we go through Elul, always make it an effort to connect to those who are in your community. And if you don't have one near you and physically, join us at Derech HaYashar on a weekly basis as we gain together. We talk about, I give a Torah once a week, Torah teaching once a week. Join us for that if you don't have anything else. Now, let's ask a question. Does my observance produce humility, joy, and justice? Or does it produce anxiety, pride, and control? If practice increases love of God and neighbor, keep it and deepen it. However, if it breeds contempt, re-examine. Have I replaced Torah with a human throne? According to the effort is the reward, says Pirkei Avot 5:26. Freedom is cultivated work. It's not an accident. Reframe the inner critic. I must perform to be loved, but I am beloved, therefore I obey. That is Torah freedom. At this time, let us hear the sound of the shofar. Friends, I want to give you this commission. Choose life. Choose Torah as liberty. Choose Messiah's yoke that is kind and empowers faithful obedience. May the truth within, etched before birth, confirmed by Torah, awakened by the Spirit, set you free indeed. May the Son, who is free, set you free indeed. Friends, shalom. Return to the King who is in the field. Walk as the truly freed person in Messiah Yeshua. Thank you for joining me. Shalom and Litrot.
The New Testament wasn't written in a vacuum, yet for generations it's been read without its original context, stripped from its Jewish roots, reframed through foreign lenses, misinterpreted again and again. But what if the problem isn't the text? It's the lens we're using. We've been given a certain theological system through which to view the writings of the apostles. Is this system free from biases and agendas? Have certain ideas and practices crept in unnoticed by readers of the New Testament 2,000 years later? What if I told you that all of that is changing? What if I told you that the New Testament is being restored to its original foundation? What if I told you that Gentiles are returning to the source of their faith rooted in the Torah? This book brings the New Testament back to life. Through Jewish interpretation, you'll see Paul differently. Yeshua's teachings make more sense, and prophecy connects like never before. The Hijacked Covenant. Get your copy now.